All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G, back at y'all with another one. We're going to get into this Saints and Bucks matchup, but we got to talk about the matchup we had versus the Bears, man. Dennis Allen, revenge game, bruh. It was the Caleb Williams, Spencer Rattler bowl, I guess, if you will. The whole lot of storylines, whole lot of narratives. I felt like it played into Spence Rattler play. He tried to play like a little hero ball. He tried to win the game for the Saints because of him and not just with him, which to me kind of forced him to make some erratic decisions, and this was the game a lot of his haters was just waiting on, just waiting to pounce on that one loss, especially with the storylines, especially with the narratives. You got Dennis Allen, you got Caleb Williams, just losing all these games in a row, and you finally have a loss where you could just harp on how bad Spencer Rattler is, and he's not the guy. You gave him everything that they was waiting for. They had that chance to unload the clip, and boy, did they unload the clip, man. And all his haters was just right there ready to pounce, and all the supporters, we couldn't say much. I mean, Caleb Williams, he had a lot of help. He wasn't just playing that spectacular. He was taking what the defense was giving him, made some plays outside the pocket, extending plays. But he had that run game help. He had that defensive help with all those turnovers, and they did him favors. Spence Rattler, he did not get favors, but you gotta call a spade a spade. He played poorly given the circumstances, and uh his supporters, you couldn't hide behind the yeah we lost, but he played well. He didn't have that in his back pocket to use. He didn't have that at his supporting talking point. That we lost, but he played well. Let me get y'all guys' thoughts, man. What you thought about the whole game, B?
I thought it was exactly what you said, bro. I think Spencer tried a little bit too hard in that game, but and of course, let me start off by saying he played absolutely horribly. And I think a part of that is, exactly what you said. I think he kind of made it more of a personal game than what it should have been, based on the people who was on the opposite sidelines. And I also think, again, although he played poorly, and I want to make sure I keep saying that because people are gonna say I make excuses for him. Let's be honest, the whole team played poorly. Like, there's a lot of blame to go around. Spencer Rattler is definitely at the head of the table when it comes to that. But the Saints themselves looked absolutely abysmal. And I think that played into exactly what the Bears wanted to do because, of course, once you rattled Spencer, that was pretty much it. They knew the rest of the team couldn't beat them. And as long as you got Spencer to turn the ball over, as you stated, man, it's like there was nothing else that could be done because the Saints don't have the ability to win a comeback game. So for me, man, I watched the Bears basically, and Dennis Allen do what Dennis Allen does. For as much as we hate him as a head coach, the man can coach defense, especially when he has talent. So for me, man, it was a total wash. This was one of those games to where you don't burn the tape, you watch it over and over and over again, so you can make sure you don't feel that way. The problem that I have now is that because Spencer Rattler played the way he did, next week I'm expecting him to play. I could say subpar, I could say mediocre, but this is gonna be one of them games to where he's gonna be checked down Charlotte most of the game, and that's the problem that I have. Like you said, the Spencer haters were waiting. He gave them the ammunition that they needed, and now it kind of it double backs because he can't go out there and cut it loose. The exact reason why he plays so conservatively is exactly why he can't afford to have a game like this because when he doesn't get credit for when he plays well and they lose. But him playing poorly yesterday, I'm sorry, playing poorly on Sunday, and now he have the boo birds in his back pocket. He got the haters, riled up, and of course now you got the Tyler Shuck conversation being legitimate. That's exactly why he played the way he did the first 5, 6 weeks of the season.
Mm. Before we get to Marlon B, uh, you know, you you a nigga that hit things from time to time. Is there anything that you've been hearing as of late?
Not necessarily when it comes to Spencer. I mean, at this point, it's still his job to lose. But the evaluation time is getting closer and closer. And if we're being honest about this, man, the Saints should possibly lose their next 4 games. I mean,
Hmm.
that's just what it looks like. And at that point, it becomes a situation to where you look at it and you say, okay, those who want to see Tyler Shuck, will have everything they need. And it doesn't matter how Spencer plays in these games. He could go out there through for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks the next 4 games, and it still won't matter. If your record is 1-11 or whatever it may be at that point, it's not gonna matter. The bigger issue here is that once Tyler Shuck goes out there, and a lot of people, I say this all the time, you may get what you want, but you may not get, want what you get. You're gonna see Tyler Shuck in that moment, and there's gonna be, so I think there's gonna be, something that applies there that's gonna be fool's gold. Because when you get him, you're gonna get him against the Titans and the Dolphins and the Jets and the Browns, and you're gonna get him against these teams. So he's going to look a lot better than what he may actually be. And on the flip side of that, if he looks bad, you lose him forever. So be careful what you whisper out there, Shuck fans. You may just get what you're looking for.
Hmm. Yeah, man. I'm already knowing Marlon looking into the future at these games, especially these games, later on in the season where you fighting for first round pick, where you fighting for number one pick spot. I know Marlon, he got them
I don't
games
want them
circling.
losses, man. I need them losses.
Yeah, because it's gonna put Marlon in a pickle, bro. Anybody who's rooting for the team for draft purposes, oh, you're gonna get put in a pickle later on in these games because the the tank. The tankathon is going to be coming, and we're going to have to see who's going to want that number one pick the most. And is that number one pick worthy? But what's your thoughts, Marlon?
I thought I thought Spencer. I thought this was probably one of those games reminiscent of last year. I just thought that he tried to do way too much. Like he was just way too amped up. Almost like he took like a it's like he took like a bunch of energy drinks or something, or drunk like a bunch of energy drinks, and he just bouncing all over the place. Like even with the first fumble he had, like he had two guys in front of him. At least it appeared that he had like Elvin Kamara in front of him. And then he had Jawan Johnson behind him, and they were both open, and it was blocked for about 4 or 5 seconds, which is a lot of time in the NFL. And I don't know if he was just trying to go down the field, but I just thought that he was way too like jittery and antsy and wanted to like prove a point. And sometimes just play. Like I don't, and like how B said, I don't want this to. I know how this game is gonna get used against him. I don't want it to make him back into the check down Charlie from the first 5 weeks, because I think the last few games have been a lot more pleasing on the eyes to watch. So at least in that standpoint, but I mean a game like that where you have 4 turnovers and you have like 2 or 3 other plays that easily could have been turnovers, like regardless of how you feel about him, is gonna open the door potentially for the conversation to start on the next guy. I'm not going. He was the worst player this week, but it's not all him. Like, I mean, you see that defense, bro. They can't stop anybody on the run. Chicago doesn't even run the ball good. And both guys had 100 yards on like 5.5, 6 yards of carry. So it's so many issues on the team. Then you lose McCoy. Um, the Saints, Chicago gives up 160 yards rushing on the ground. The Saints had like, what, 35? Like, they can't run with anybody. The Probably the best runner on the team, he tears his ACL. So at this point, he's an afterthought. Far as like from now on next year, just his Saints career is probably a wrap. But it's a lot of issues on the team. It's not just Spencer, but he was the worst one on Sunday, and his performance did open the conversation with Shuck, because when they start asking the question to Kellen Moore and he answers, "We're evaluating week to week," that means the door has now been open when you start hearing the week to week thing with the quarterback.
Marlon, how you think Shucker come in, had let's just say he does come in. How you think he'll come in without no Eric McCoy?
I don't think he'll be good. This offense was averaging like 18 points a game with McCoy, and now it's no McCoy. I think the one difference this year though is if you told me the other players are healthy, particularly the tackles, that'll make the job easier. Because like when McCoy got hurt last year, it was like other people on the line hurt, and like I think the only guy out there was like Fulaga, I believe so last year, and that's gonna make everybody's job harder. But I mean, it's not gonna be. as seamless of a transition as it will. Like we'll probably see Spencer struggle this week with no McCoy. Definitely, we'll definitely see him struggle because I think McCoy was the one that's calling out all like the line protections, like, and
You're
Spencer
gonna see him
doesn't do
struggle
that.
regardless because the Bucks mad.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, yeah, he's gonna struggle regardless. Like, I mean, Vita Vea, come on, they gave up a lot of yards rushing yesterday, and now you get to go against a backup, so
Mm.
it's gonna be a struggle for whoever plays.
Yeah, man. Such a sad way to go out, like how he went out. Because, like I say, man, all these losses, the one thing Spencer Rattler could hang his hat on. Well, at least he played well. Look at everybody else. He's not getting no favors, which he didn't get no favors this game. But at the same time, he didn't play well, and this was the time to really show. Like you want a guy that could stand up when the lights are bright. You know, this wasn't no primetime game, but for Saints fans that element with Dennis Allen, for Spencer Rattler, that element with Dennis Allen and um Caleb Williams, it gonna show what type of player you got. You know, you want to see guys when they backs up against the wall, when it's do or die time, and that was the time where I really think was his opportunity to win a lot of fans who were on the fence about him over, and a lot of fans that supported him. They just knew without a shadow of a doubt, okay, yeah, this the guy we need to build around. Now it's looking iffy, bro. James Scamatta, he said it best. Like, you know, I don't think Spencer Rattler is the problem with this team, but I don't think he's the solution either. So where do we go from here? Like, you know, the draft is the talk of the town right now, and it's like, what are we gonna do? The Saints, same old Saints, bro. Even when stuff is going in our favor, it's still a go against us. Like, what team I know I have a fourth down, a team commits a penalty, and then that hurts the Saints. Like what? Like that's just the type of season that we're having right now, bro. And can't nothing go right. As far as the offensive line, you got McCoy out, but even when McCoy was in, it's like this team wasn't blocking good. Ruiz still doing Ruiz things. Spencer really ain't have no time back there. Is that B? Is that more of a scheme thing, or you think it's lack of
It's a
preparation?
talent. It's a little bit of everything. It's a lack of talent. It's a scheme thing, and it's an idea of when you run a summer camp instead of a training camp. At some point, it comes to bite you in the ass, and that's what's happening for Kellen Moore. Like when all you want to do, you don't want to run no one-on-ones. All you want to do is run team scrimmage drills and stuff like that, man. Like you're not getting nothing done like that. Like that, the practices weren't physical. They started late. It's like everything that happened in training camp is now bleeding over into the season. That's why you see veterans like Devon Gasho saying stuff like, man, you know what? This is the best training camp I've ever been at. Veterans don't say shit like that. They never do. They don't. Tyron Matthew took one look at that team and said, I'm going home. I'll see y'all later. Like this, that was the reality of it. You could look at the team and see they weren't prepared. So from a talent standpoint, it doesn't matter what goes on. And Rainey mentioned earlier, about the tackles and that probably helping them hold out a lot more. I disagree with you on that one, partner. Not that I disagree with you about the tackles, because I think Banks and Fuaga are going to be really good moving forward. But the best way to get a quarterback and getting rattled, it's the double A gap pressure. We're gonna come straight in your face. That way you can't step up in the pocket. You can't move around. You got to get to the outside where we got our pass rushers basically getting upfield, and you have to run into them and try to cut you back inside. So for me, the worst thing that could have happened to the Saints is losing McCoy, because you already had liabilities at left guard and at right guard. Now you got to play musical chairs within the interior of your offensive line. So what do you do? Do you move Cesar Ruiz to center and have him play center for you while you have to put Torricelli Simpkins or somebody like that? Or do you keep everything status quo? Keep Ruiz where he is, keep Penning where he is. And you put in I forgot the cat name, man. They traded Colin Saunders and they got him back from Jacksonville. But they got a backup center already on the roster. Do you just insert him into the lineup and say, okay, we go from there? And I still don't know if that guarantees you any success, because the Saints can't run block well. Alvin Kamara, I think, averaged like less than 2.5 yards a carry. Like, that's ridiculous when the other team is knocking you off for six a pop, like Rainey mentioned earlier. Like, that's absolutely insane. And then again, as Rainey mentioned earlier, the dude with the most explosiveness in your running game is now gone. Dennis Allen got to be this man kryptonite, because all he did was see Dennis Allen, and he all of a sudden he out for the season. So for me, man, I just when I look at the Saints, There's a lack of talent that's there, and there's a lack of a play. Like the Saints don't have that dude that when everything is going wrong, he makes a play and it changes the entire game. They don't have that. They don't have the running back that's going to cut one for a 30-yard run and get everybody juiced up. They don't even have the Taysom that would knock a few heads over as he's trying to bowling ball his way for a 3rd and 1 and, kind of get up popping and smiling and everything like that because he just ran over somebody. They don't have the explosiveness, what the kids call it these days, juice. They ain't got it.
Also, the not even just the interior, the running backs blocking, the tight ends blocking was just non-existent. Everybody was getting beat. Everybody was getting beaten, and it's like, God damn it, bro! Like, why this had to happen in this game, bro? Um, Jawan Johnson, this dude caught a pass and then flexed on the sideline when we was down 20-0. Dog, I ain't even go to Twitter and look what people was gonna say about that, because that was one of the moments that I know people was gonna be on Twitter talking a whole bunch of shit. I just did nothing but just drop my head and just shook it, dog. I said, I can't believe this dude just did that, dog. Like when you see a player do stuff like that, down by that much, B, what do you think about the team's mentality?
It's a cuttable offense because wasn't nothing there for him to flex over. He caught like a 3-yard pass. It ain't like he caught like a bomb down the sidelines or whatever like that. Was getting held the entire time, got smacked, and then got up and was like, okay, that's it. You caught like a 3-yard pass, bro. What the hell are you so amped about? You down 20-0. Why are you flexing? And most importantly, I'm gonna just go ahead on and put it out there. I have an extreme, and when I say extreme, I mean, take the most skinhead, racist, Aryan Nation person you can think of and think about how much that person may truly despise black people. Multiply that times 100 and you still wouldn't get how much I hate Jawan Johnson. I don't like that dude, bro. Like, I'm talking physical harm. If me and Jawan are at the bar at the same time, I might crack him in his head with a damn beer bottle, bro. I don't like him that much. Like, if him getting injured for the season is still not good enough for me. It has to be career ending. I know it sounds bad. Damn, B, why you saying that? Because I mean every single damn word I just said. That's why I said it. Because I'm not like the rest of them who gonna sugarcoat it and tell y'all something different than how I actually feel. I hate him that much. So, but the only thing that makes me say I want to see it play out is because I want Mickey Loomis to look even worse every time he touched the field. Because there was no reason, absolutely none, for you to give him or Justin Reed $30 million. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I hope he get popping Achilles, bro. But I'd rather see him play the whole season out and look like the damn fool he is.
Mhm. What you thought about the play, Marlon? And do you see a chance that Foster or Stall might get more playing time?
Um, I don't see shit at tight end, bro. We just it's tight end is one of those positions where I see nothing, bro. Like, far as the play, um, I don't have no words, man. I ain't understand it, but I mean, at this point, it just is what it is. We stuck with the player. They signed him to a contract that I don't believe any other team in the league would have. But some of the moves that they make, it just the few moves that they make, it just like it's moves that make me just question it like what is like Kellen in the front office doing, because he's gonna have input on some of these moves. I'm not It's not just the front office. I'm like, what did you see to say, hey, I want to make Jawan Johnson the 12th highest paid tight end in the league? Like, I think Mike Triplett had it perfect when he said, I didn't have a problem with the Saints keeping him if it was like those deals that they used to sign Traquan Smith to. But it's like, nah, you paid him like he was like really good or like a good player. And it's just like he doesn't block, and he's a receiving tight end that's not a top level receiving tight end, and he doesn't block. So, and then you make the other panic move and you trade for Vile. You trade a pick that's probably like what, pick 103, some shit like that. Somewhere between, it's gonna be somewhere between 101 and 104 for a wide receiver that's about to be 28 that was hurt and has a knee that he has to manage for the rest of his career. Then you take like I again, I'm not Rattler is his franchise quarterback, but you were like gun ho on taking Shuck. Like that's just three panic moves right there to just make me question everything. And that's basically how I look at it.
Marlon, you be like paying close attention to the cap. You be cooking up a lot of trades that you think the Saints should do to get better with the contracts. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about the Saints try to go ahead on and try to get Michael Mayer from the Raiders. The Raiders are one of them teams that they'll make some trades. Uh, do you see that possibly happening?
I'm not trading any picks for any players. I
Mm,
wouldn't trade. He got 1 year left on his contract after this year, so I
The
okay.
wouldn't
Raiders
trade for
ain't giving
him.
up Michael Mayer anyway. Brock Bowers is hurt. Michael Mayer been balling since Brock Bowers been out. Plus, they like that two tight end combo. Pete Carroll ain't getting rid of that.
Mm, okay.
Even if he was available, I wouldn't do it. I'm cool. They need to draft their own talent.
mm. B, what you thought about the bounce back game from Chris Olave, and what you thought about the Rashid Shaheed play? Some people was feeling like he wasn't fighting for the ball a lot. I think was it that fourth down that he threw that slant to?
Yeah, it
Okay,
was the
yeah, it
third
was
down.
that. It was that, and like the two balls deep, like he could have fought for the ball a little bit more. What you thought about the play between both the wide receivers?
I think Shaheed played like a dude that's hearing his name in trade rumors and it hasn't been squashed yet. So he's out there, basically like, with a whole lot more on his mind than what he should have. That's the way he played to me. I thought he basically gave up on the game long before it got there. And again, I think that's, has a lot to do with his name being mentioned in trade rumors. Like when you heard Alvin's name being mentioned, it was squashed immediately. Alvin basically said, if y'all trade me, I'm gonna retire. So now you can't get nothing for him because the threat is out there. So even if you wanted to trade him, you can't. But
Mm,
Shaheed, it was basically like, well, I mean, for the right price. And I think, that's a little bit disheartening for a guy that basically feels like, nah, man, I love it here. I want to be here. Y'all gave me a chance. I want to prove myself. And I'm potentially wide receiver two here. I may be like number 4 on the depth chart somewhere else. So I think a large part of that is exactly why it was more mental than I think physical with Shaheed. I think he'll bounce back in some capacity. For everybody out there with Chris Olave, I'm this is my wheelhouse right here because I don't just I feel like Chris Olave is a lot like Jawan Johnson. The talent and the potential is teasing. I mean, it makes you believe it. It's like, you know what, man, that dude, like Jawan Johnson was the king of this. Every now and again, he'll flash on screen and be like, okay, that's why they were willing to give him that kind of money. But it's never consistent. Usually Jawan does it around the last 5 games of the season. He'll tease you into thinking that he's a good tight end. Chris Olave is much like that to me. It's not that he doesn't have the talent or the potential to do the wide receiver three to me. And I know, Rainey gonna lose his damn mind because I'm saying it, but I mean every bit of this shit. Chris Olave, you better keep your receipts on them magic beans he sold your ass last Sunday. That's all I'm gonna tell you because I don't see him repeating that performance for another 5 or 6 games. That's just what it is. If anybody's gonna tell me, well, he had 5 catches and 98 yards and 2 touchdowns, what are you so down on? The fact that he should be doing that type of shit every game. Like when you are paid to be and are billed as the number one wide receiver, we shouldn't be clapping and and applauding and who that and high fiving that he finally had a big game. Like, do y'all realize Chris Olave? I think this might be his first, if I'm not mistaken, because I do everything from memory. This might be his first 2 touchdown game since he's been in the fucking league. Are you kidding me? Y'all really want to high five and who that and applaud and all of a sudden be like, see, I told you. And Josh Olave with his pussy ass getting online talking about stay on that side. Boy, you ain't did nothing for me to stay on my. No, you right. I'm gonna sit right here. And next week when your brother flop and he gonna flop against Tampa, I'm gonna be right there to remind you every second of the way. That's why I stayed on my side. Chris Olave is not who he's supposed to be. Does he have potential? Sure. But potential don't mean nothing. I'd rather proven. And that's what he hasn't done. Chris Olave had 1,000 yard season. Yeah, well, what the hell is he supposed to have? You don't let wide receiving option. He was supposed to have that his first couple of years in the league. I think he's a different player since the concussions, and I never believed in him like that before it either. He was too small of a dude to be your number one, and he wasn't physical enough to be that. So for me, seeing what Chris Olave did, I don't believe in it. You got to show me again. And again and again and again. And if you can do that, then I'll shut up. Until then, nah, I'm gonna be the loudest motherfucker in the room.
All right, Marlon, you like to rebut that? Like, what's your take on Olave's bounce back game and Rashid Shaheed kind of underwhelming play?
I mean, is wrong, but I think he a two. But like I think he a good player. I just think that we missing, like I said, I think we just been missing like stuff in the room to make it all work. Um, far as like Shaheed, um, I mean everybody in trade talks at this point, other than like Banks and Fuaga, everybody in trade talks. So you can't really use that as like a crutch. I just think that I don't know. I think a lot of like when I watch them play weekly, I just like start to think about like what NOF was saying before. It was like, man, this might be like a rough offense to watch where you don't know who's going like because the way that they play, like it's gonna be a lot of condensed offense and I don't know. I just think that this might not be the fit for him because I don't he's not detailed enough to probably be a two. And then if you're not using them deep and hitting it, then it's gonna be like really like wishy-washy. Like one week it might look like the Giants. The next week he might have 25 yards. Like it's just a weird type of offense.
Hmm. So Shahid a one trick pony.
Huh?
So Shahid a one trick pony.
I mean, he kind of is, but it's not that trick that he has is very
Uh,
beneficial. You can get a lot of money make playing that way, but it's the way that we play offense.
you mean
Like
to tell me Shahid is basically the new Robert Meacham?
he would look better in an offense where they threw the ball, pushed the ball down the field more.
Man, bro.
He shouldn't. If he's your two, your tight end got to be great, and your wide receiver got to be like different than him.
No, we in hell, bro. No, sometimes I just be wondering how this team would look if we had Seattle, Vikings, or Indianapolis head coach. Like,
This
is
is
it?
big. This is bigger than head coach. This is a personnel thing. They don't know how to build a team like a roster out. Like Shaheed should have never been your two. And the fact that he was your two, you were supposed when he's your two, you got to support it a certain type of way, as far as it like a tight end, other stuff like that, and not an offense. This isn't the same offense from last year. Like this is a way like more condensed offense. So he was kind of like this last year, where it was a condensed offense, but Derek Carr would hit that because they would throw down the field more. Not they've started to throw down the field more the past couple of weeks, but it's not gonna hit if you're not doing it consistently.
Mhm. Another thing that's not happening consistently is Blake Groupie. He still is missing kicks. The 50 yarder, I knew he wasn't gonna hit that up in Chicago. Like I just already prepared myself to go take a little piss or whatever and come back and just be prepared for Chicago having the ball. Um, at the same time, he's still starting. So it's like we just going down that hill with Blake Groupie. As far as the defense go, B, what you thought about the defense, bro? Chase Young, he's Mr. Almost Get a Sack. You got old man Cam Jordan out there. He haven't looked as good since the first week one game. Um, you got Riley out there, he'll make a play or two. And you got Justin Reed just making a non-impact on the game whatsoever, bro. Man, what's your thoughts on the defense, bro? Let's get to the defensive side of the ball. What they giving up the run ever since Malcolm Brown ass.
Like we really in a situation defensively to where we talking about dudes that normally wouldn't get talked about, like as far as like excited about them, like right, like we talking about Danny Stutzman, who I think might have had like 5 tackles, but we talking about him like he Lawrence Taylor. Chrissy Riley got a pick. So we talking about him like he prime, Reavers, and we mentioned guys like Chase Young almost getting there, but the reality of it is he was a first round pick. Cam Jordan, first round pick. Brian Brzee, first round pick. And these dudes ain't really making no kind of impact. Like Chase Young keep on getting it. I keep hearing about, oh well, he's almost there. He keep, he led the league in hurries and hits and all. Man, I don't give a damn about that. He paid to get the quarterback on the ground. And Caleb Williams, who was basically not even doing much, was shaking these boys out they cleats on Sunday, just getting past him. And I'm like, Caleb Williams shouldn't be able to do that. Because if Caleb does that to you, imagine what the rest of the quarterbacks you got to face later on in the season gonna do to you, because that's not a mobile quarterback. That's just a dude who moved around in the pocket. The Saints just couldn't get there. There was no interior pressure. Brian Brzee is an absolute waste of a first round pick at this point to me. Chase Young, you gave that contract to, only for him to come back. And don't get me wrong, he looked good on his get off. So it's almost like it looks impressive. It looks impressive when you put it in spurts. Like, oh my God, his bend is amazing, but he
Mhm.
ain't going nowhere. Oh
But
my God, his first step to get off is beautiful, but he's
I
still in the
B,
same spot.
I B. Here's the $1 million question: I- i- Is it time? It is. Dare I say, Demario Davis is washed?
Like Ben. But we only praise him because he's 35, 36 years old and he still looks good. But when you was a D student in a room full of F students, you know what you look? Real damn smart.
Hmm.
I mean, I think that's what the situation is. Though it's time for Demario to hang it up. That's why the Saints are not talking contract extension with him. They know it's time for him to hang it up. And to be honest, he probably been about 2 years overdue. It's great to have a dude like DeMario. He's a great leader. It's great to have a dude like Cam. They're great leaders. They don't belong on the field right now. And that's been the Saints' problem. Staying too long. You should have never gave Alvin that contract extension. You should have never gave one to Cam. You should have never gave one to DeMario. Do I like these dudes? Absolutely. They're great dudes. Great community dudes. Great for the city of New Orleans. Do I want them playing football for my favorite team? Heavens no.
Hmm.
And that's what we are now. So in truth, we talking about them trading Pete Werner, but they really should be trying to trade Demario Davis. And what they should do is let Pete Werner and Danny Stutzman play right now, because you can get rid of Pete Werner in the offseason. If you can move him now, great. But let's be honest, bro. The Saints ain't winning nothing. So to hold on to Demario Davis just for warm and fuzzy feelings is stupid at this point. Get what you can get now. Start the rebuild now. Stop being the last one to get there, because that's how you got this offseason. Tampa Bay rebuilt. Atlanta rebuilt. Carolina rebuilt. You know who's the last one to the race? The Saints on trying to rebuild, and that's why they look the way they look, and the other teams don't.
Hmm. What about you, Marlon? Is Demario Davis and all the other unks on our defense washed? Like,
Yeah, it's more than just him. It's him. Um, it's Cam. Obviously, it's Taysom Hill. It's Alvin. I think we got this thing with Saints fans where we don't like to say somebody's washed until they're out of a Saints uniform. Like it's like we can go watch with Latimer right now. He's washed his shit. He can't play anymore to
sad.
what he used to play.
God damn.
But if you put some of these other guys on other teams, you'll say the same shit because they look bad in the uniform. Demario Davis is late on everything. Elvin Kamara, if he can't catch the ball out the backfield at this point, what does he do? That first play that was blocked up before Rattler fumbled for another running back, like hell, if you maybe put Kendra in that position on that pitch, that's supposed to be 20 plus yards. For him, it's like five. Like he's done. He's done as a player. And it's
Hmm.
a reason why he doesn't want to be traded because he ain't that guy no more. And it's okay. Every dog got their day. Like if you go look at Taysom Hill stats, Taysom Hill got 9 carries this year for -5, like -3 yards. So he's basically losing a third of a yard on every time he touches the ball. Like he's not going forward at all. Like it's okay. I just think a lot of our fans don't like to call players wash while they actively on the team, but they're washed. Like even another player, Ryan Ramczyk, that last year, 2023, he was done. He was clearly cooked. Michael Thomas in 2023, not 2022, because he still has some juice then when he had the Atlanta game and all that, and then he got hurt. But anybody that with eyes can watch in 2023 and like, bro, Michael Thomas really can't play no more. He can't move on the field. Like, it's okay to call current Saints players wash. I just think some of our fans don't want to do it because they like the players so much.
Hmm. God damn, bro. God damn, bro. Dog, look like none of the Saints gonna win Uncle of the Week, bro. Cooks, he only get 2 catches a game, if he even
Another one that
get
shouldn't
that.
be on the team.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I don't. Cooks. I mean, it's not. If you sign up for a year for like full million, I would have been fine. You sign up for like you gave him like actual money kind of for what he was at this point. And then even like Devon Gotcha, you traded for him, had no problem with you trading for him. You restructured him for zero reason, which put that contract on the books next year. Like it's just even Nathan Shepard. Who restructures Nathan Shepard when you have the chance to cut him? Like it's a dumbass team. It's just what dumb teams do.
So Marlon, you think Taysom just washed too? Or you don't think the blocking got anything to do with it?
I think Tatum's done.
Mm.
I think it's. I mean, blocking is some part of an issue, but I think he's done. I don't think he shouldn't have been on the team because they should have been knowing that they needed to clear money for next year when they take all this dead money. But it's what bad teams do.
Mm. Well, let's go ahead on and get into this Bucks game, man. We play the Bucks next. They the leading in the division right now. They looking very good. Baker Mayfield, he's in the MVP talks. Had a down day against the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, they're another good team. So, you can't just expect to have a good game every single week. So, man, I'm pretty sure they're gonna come into this game with it on their mind to just assert their dominance upon us. And I think Todd Bowles gonna drop a whole lot of blitzes for Spence Rattler. Spence Rattler been doing pretty good against the blitz, but I'm pretty sure he gonna look at that Dennis Allen tape and say, okay, let me go ahead on and cook up my version of this. What you think the play out of the game gonna look like, B? Let me get you a prediction. What you think is gonna happen, and three keys to success if the Saints want to win this game.
Remember when Rocky Man was about to fight Mr. T, and they asked Mr.
Mm-hmm.
T what's his prediction for the fight, and he
Mm-hmm.
said pain. That's exactly how I feel. That's that my prediction for this fight for the New Orleans Saints is gonna be pain. As in it's gonna be painful to watch the way the Bucks trample up and down all over their asses. That's what's about to happen. Now, I'm not worrying about the Bucks losing the game to the Lions. If the Bucks could have beat the Lions by 50, and I still would tell you they about to beat the Saints by 50. Early in the program, I told you if Tyler Shuck plays and he plays against the Titans and the Browns and the Jets and all the Dolphins, all these alleged bad teams. Here's what other teams see when they see the New Orleans Saints on their schedule. That's our get right game because that's
Mm-hmm.
the bad team we need to play to get to kind of get our confidence back. That's what the Saints are going to be for the Buccaneers this week. It's their get right game. It's their game where they can roll out of bed at 11:59 right before the game starts,
Mm-hmm.
get late to the Superdome, walk up in there and still drop 50 on the Saints like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting this. I'm expecting this one. If the Bears beat, they had them 20-0 going into the damn near going into the half. I'm expecting the Bucks to be up 20-0 in the first quarter. It's not. I mean, I have no faith in nothing the Saints are going to be able to do. Now, I do understand that Bucky Irvin might miss the game, and Chris Godwin is, it's almost a walking injury waiting to happen. And Mike Thomas just, I'm sorry, Mike Evans just went out with a concussion, so he might not play. Guess what? I don't care because the Saints have like first of all, it ain't like the Saints been seeing prime number one type of receivers. It ain't like AJ Brown and Jamal Chase has been out there every week and they still been getting flamed up. So no, I don't care who playing for the Bucks. I do understand that the Bucks are just a better team. And even if the Bucks win this game 9-6, they're gonna win a defensive struggle. And not like the Saints gonna be able to stop them. But even if they win 9-6, I'm not expecting the Saints to be able to do a damn thing with the Buccaneers. I don't care how it goes. Like Bucks fans gonna get their rocks off on this one because they really want to be a rivalry. So they'll be able to stick their little bird chest out and go, oh, we won the game against the Saints. Bro, you should have won. The real crime will come if the Saints make this competitive or even win the game. That's a real crime because the Saints have no business even being close in this one. So me, I got the Bucks winning this one. I'm gonna say 31-7 or 31-10. It's not gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a blowout. And as far as if there's any keys to victory, the Saints have to do what they could not do last week. The Saints have to, they have to capitalize on turnovers. They have to. Blake Groupie has to actually make his kicks because this could be a game in which every point counts for the New Orleans Saints. And most importantly, Spencer Rattler needs to not lose to the Bears twice. You lost to the Bears. Caleb and Dennis Allen got the best of you. Put that game behind you and go out there and beat the guy that we saw versus the Patriots. If you can do that, you'll probably be way better off. We can see that Olave connection. We can see the Shaheed connection. Maybe Jawan Johnson will get his ass off of TikTok and catch a pass without flexing. So if that can happen, maybe the Saints have a chance. I'm not expecting none of it to go down.
All right, Marlon. What you think gonna happen? Give me a score prediction, and if the Saints gotta win this game, what they gotta do? Give me three keys to victory.
They need to kidnap Vita Vey and make sure he don't show up. That's really what they need to do. Cause we seen how this team operated without McCoy. So
So do
I
you
don't
think
know who.
you think the Saints should put Ruiz at center, Marlon?
I think we should talk more about the McCoy injury and how it put him in a real fucking pickle in general.
I
Like
told you that
just
before the season. Remember, I told you like, man, that dude be getting hurt, dog. But I got to
yeah,
move
man.
on from him
That's
too. I told you this been
yeah.
consistent, bro. I told you.
I'm more like focused on that. Like I mean, look, bro, the Saints gonna lose, man. But it's just do they get blown out or do they fight? I don't think they're gonna score that many points because I don't trust who's gonna be blocking Vita Vey, and I think Tampa knows that. Like Tampa might run NASCAR packages going straight at the interior. They might put Yaya Diaby over the fucking center with he and
Mm,
he's the edge. They might put nah, Sean Reddick, he got hurt. So, but I'm just saying they gonna do stuff like that. Put somebody over the center, put somebody over the guard. Like we already seen how Trevor Penning or how Cesar Ruiz play when Eric McCoy can't play. So I've seen that before.
mm,
So that gives me no faith in any of these games. Like McCoy out now. Like I thought the number one pick would be. You know, you watch some of these games, you like, oh man, some of these teams ass too. They ass just like us. Shit, the Saints know McCoy. Fuck, we got him. We got the edge. We got the inside edge.
mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of more interested in like with the McCoy injury. Like, what do they do? Like, they so fucked everywhere. That's like I don't like they might have to trade people who they may not even want to trade and stuff like that. Because I don't think you can keep just restructuring players like that. And then you don't want to restructure a Ruiz, but like shit, McCoy getting hurt might keep Ruiz on the team even longer.
Mm. So give me a score prediction.
I'm gonna go Bucks. Bucks hurt, so I'm gonna go to Bucks 27, Saints 13.
Mm. Give me two more keys to victory. Your first key, we got to do some of Vita Vale.
Second key, maybe you can run the ball, control the clock. Third key, Tampa don't got Bucky Irvin. Um,
Still
Baker's been
got
throwing
White
a lot. Let's see. Oh, Rashad White, he don't
and
scare me at
Tucker.
all.
Tucker messed us over last
They
time.
might they Tucker might be the one that they use more, especially
Mm.
going into the game knowing Mike Evans hurt. They might use Tucker a lot because
Mm.
White more of a receiving back, so I never really like worried about him. But they gonna use they. I predict they use White more.
Mm. All right, before I let you guys get up out of here, man. Right now, the Saints are 1-6, looking at 1-7 down the barrel, looking at 1-8 right behind the corner. Probably even lose to the Panthers the way the season been looking. So it's just not looking good. And a lot of Saints fans are just giving up hope. They're broken. Even got home a Q saying fuck the Saints. Never thought I'd see the day. Never thought I'd see the day. Well, Homer Q talking bad about his team. A lot of fans are just looking for salvation. A lot of fans are just looking for love in all the wrong places. And I think the best place that we can look for love is tomorrow night watching the Pelicans, bro. I'm for one is excited about the Pelicans. Everybody gonna be healthy except Deontay Murray, I believe. I think we could win without him. This game, we gonna be playing the Grizzlies. Gonna be a tough matchup. Gonna be very fun to watch. What's your expectations on this Pelicans first opening game and us playing Mister John Morant himself? What you think, B?
I think the Birds get this one, man. Bird gang, bro. I think that Zion got a new mentality, and I think that it had to happen. Now, will his game translate? Not sure. Are the Pelicans good enough to make it happen? I'm not sure. But I believe the potential that they have is promising only from a standpoint of let's see what it looks like when it's healthy and you have a dude that's a certified closer. Brandon Ingram was not a closer. Zion Williamson, not a closer. They haven't had one. Jordan Poole is a closer. I know he's gonna chuck up about 30 of them from 50 feet. I don't care. Because when a game is on the line, I trust him to be able to make that game winning shot. They haven't had that in a very long time. So I like what I'm seeing from the Pelicans, man. The preseason was all over the place because they played the team in Australia. You're supposed to win. You come back to the States, you look like you're a little bit outmatched. But Memphis is a good matchup for the Pelicans because I think when Zion is healthy, Memphis can't do nothing with him. And I think, the rebuilt, in a shuffling around, them losing, some of they key dudes, man, I think it's gonna kind of bite them in the ass a little bit. Some of their toughness is gonna be gone, and I think the Pelicans found a little bit of it. So we'll see what happens, man. But I like I like what I see from the Pelicans so far. The only thing that's gonna be a determination is two things that I struggle to believe in when it comes to the Pelicans. One of them is the 3-point shot being there. In this league, you got to be able to shoot threes. And I don't know if the Pelicans have the type of game that they can do it consistently from the outside. You're gonna have to do it at some point versus just going down the court trying to play bully ball all day. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can keep up with a lot of the NBA teams. Not being able to shoot the three. And the one other thing I struggle with, I have no faith. And when I say no faith, Willie Green is the black Dennis Allen to me. I have no faith in him. Like
Hmm.
that he honestly should have been fired, and they should have let Borrego coach the team until they figured out who they wanted next, whether that be Mike Malone or Taylor from Memphis or somebody. Like I just Willie Green just don't do it for me.
Hmm. So you got the Pels winning.
I do, I do.
Okay.
Bird gang all day.
All right. What about you, Marlon? We should take on the whole season opener tomorrow. Well, is it tonight?
It's just tonight for the NBA.
So the Pels play tonight, though.
Nah, they play tomorrow.
Okay. So what's your take on the season opener versus the Grizzlies?
Um.
And who you got
Oh.
winning?
I wish the Pels luck. I like to come back to the fan base and enjoy the team
So you
one
got to
day.
you got to get 30. You got to get 30 games in. See how they looking.
Shit, I gotta get to the end of the season. That
Mm.
trade pissed me off so much that they made that I couldn't do it no more.
What trade?
But the trade giving up their future first round pick for
Mm.
Derek Queen, that's one of the dumbest moves in years. But that's maybe I end up wrong. But
Mm.
I hope they have a good season. That's all I hope. Cause I'm looking for Pro Pels Talk, the white dude that's he be on a podcast with the Boot Crew Media people. If they don't make the playoffs, I'm going straight to him.
Mm. Yeah, it's one Pelicans podcast I like. It's like three black dudes. I think the is that Boot Crew?
It might be.
Yeah, it's like one Pelicans podcast I really do like. Let me go ahead on and get your final thoughts before you get up out of here, B, and go ahead on and let people know where they can find you at on Twitter, and let people know when your next spaces will be held.
But to be honest with you, bro, I don't know how many more times I'm even gonna do spaces, man. Like the last couple of times, I even like, I kind of asked to run it. People kind of been like distant on it. So I think right about now, man, everybody kind of going through it. So they're not really, they're not really wanting to talk Saints football like that, man. So maybe if something big happens, I'll run one. But other than that, I think my days of doing spaces is over and done with for the foreseeable future. That being said, man, as far as my final thoughts is really, come down to Tyler Shuck, man. Like I know there's a lot of talk surrounding him, and many people think I'm against the Shuck move because I'm a Rattler supporter, and that's really not what it is. I don't care if this was Jake Hayner. I don't care if it was Taysom Hill at QB1. I don't care who it is. I think putting Tyler Shuck in the game right now as QB1 is a huge mistake if you're the New Orleans Saints. They don't have the offensive line. They don't have the weapons on the outside. They don't have the running game. So what your and of course, that's just offensively. They don't have a defense that can keep teams from scoring on the first possessions of the game because I think over the last 6 games, the opposing team has scored on their first two possessions. That means you're already at a deficit if you don't have the offensive firepower to go back and forth, and the Saints don't. So your defense is no good, meaning that they're giving up points. So now you're in shootouts that you can't afford to be in. The special teams is no good because Blake Grupe can't hit a kick to save his life. And of course, your offense is suspect at best. So for me, I just think that's a recipe for disaster. And everybody is keep telling themselves, well, we gotta see it, we gotta see it, we gotta see it. No, you don't. What you can see is the Saints be patient and slow cook this. Everything does not have to be put in the microwave. You can actually put it in a crock pot and let it slow cook. You can put it in the oven and give it the same thing. You can put it on the grill. You do not have to microwave this. And everybody wants to microwave Tyler Shuck. He's not ready because if he was ready, he'd be QB1. If he was ready, Taysom Hill wouldn't have been QB2. He's not ready. And what you basically are saying is, well, I want to see it just so I can know. Who the hell are you? You're not a talent evaluator. You're not a coach. You're not a member of the New Orleans Saints. You are a goofy ass fan that's going to watch highlights and tell me you watch tape. That's not the same thing.
Mhm.
So my suggestion is you sit him. You
Mhm.
build a team, a formidable team. Hell, you got your bookend tackles. Now build the interior of your offensive line. Put a line in front of him that's gonna keep Mr. Happy Feet, Mr. Jittery from throwing those goofy ass fucking worm burner passes that he threw
Mhm.
at the combine. Save Tyler Shuck from the idiots that say, we'll just put him out there so I can see what he looks like. And the way you do that, put talent around him, and then you insert your quarterback. Because if he doesn't work, even at 27, it's not too late to pull the plug on him. You can go get you a veteran in the offseason just in case it doesn't. You can keep Rattler out there for the time being because as of right now, he's doing a damn good job of losing you enough games to where it's not hurting your draft stock. So I don't understand the whole need to be like, well, see what you have in Tyler Shuck. You don't have to see it this year.
Mhm.
This isn't exactly like who would it be, man? If a singing legend, if you will. Like let's say, man, like if Usher or somebody like that said, "This is my," you know what? Better yet, this is John Cena's last time being in a wrestling ring. You don't have to worry about. You can go, put all your money right now on seeing John Cena for the last time. But what you cannot do is put all your money on seeing Tyler Shuck for the last time because that ain't what it is right now. This is not a limited time offer. You can see it all next season if you do this right. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to do this right. Everybody wanted to rebuild. Nobody wants to sit through it. And that's the problem I have with everybody saying, well, we got to see what you have in Tyler Shuck. No, you don't. Sit your dumb ass down. Let the boys cook and let them do what they're doing so they can build up a team around him. Because right now, your young stars are doing well enough. Your Danny Stutzman is doing well enough. Your Quincy Riley is doing well enough. Your Jonas Sanker is doing well enough. You don't have to see Tyler Shuck just yet. Take your time with this because if you're wrong, you wasted the 40th overall pick on the dude that's either never going to see the field or you've already lost him because you wanted to see him play against the Miami Dolphins. As if that's going to show you anything. Because it won't. If he beats the Dolphins, it's full goal. If he goes out there and he looks like trash against the Dolphins, you've lost him forever. Let it
Mhm.
slow cook, man. Stop trying to microwave everything. That's the
And
problem with you little young ass people right now. Y'all don't even know how to cook crack. Y'all just out there trying to put it in a microwave and letting it bubble over. And what happens? A whole pound of cocaine going down the drain. You can't do nothing with it but look at it.
and not only that, my guy from Saints Block Party, he said his sources are telling him Shuck not looking like nothing up in practice. So unless he's one of those guys who does bad in practice but balls out on Sundays, it might not look good to a lot of people. So
Let me tell some people what they don't know. Y'all like the clown Ryan and Adam for when they get, the few things they may miss on wrong. Them dudes write a hell of a lot more than what y'all want to give them credit for. And I'm not saying that because I am who I am and I've had my mistakes. No, that ain't it. I'm telling you what it is because it's a real thing to do. Those brothers are great at what they do. They get a lot of intel that y'all don't get access to. And the few times they may miss, y'all want to stick y'all chest out and be like, ha ha, you were wrong. But you never give that same energy when it proves that they're right. Stop being a clown, man.
hmm. Before I let you go, B, go ahead on tell people where they can find you at on Twitter.
Find me on Twitter at Battle Rap Bets, all one word, BATTLERAPBETS, Battle Rap Bets, or you could type in money on the search bar M.O.N.E.Y. For those that don't know, I'm gonna say it the politically correct way. It stands for make opposing naysayers envy you. Fill in the blanks on what it really meant.
Hmm. All right, B man. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Salute, fam. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, B.
All
Say
right.
salute, Marlon.
All right, Marlon. Any last thoughts that you want to like to share and tell people where they can find you at on Twitter and tell people who was your last unk of the week.
You can find me on Twitter at it's Rainy Doe, ITSRAINEYDOE. The last unk of the week was if anybody watched Thursday night football, Joe Flacco. We ain't even have to wait till
Hmm.
Sunday for this one. He deserved that. He deserved that award. Um, my last thoughts. I guess I don't know. I didn't want to like my point for like the point that B made. Me personally, I didn't really care about if I potentially lose Tyler Shuck playing him. So uh, if he plays and he's not it, then he's just not it. But I'm not going to treat him even if I know he's pick 40. But like, say if it was like if we had like took Jackson Dart and he was like the 32nd pick, we had traded up and we took him in the first round at the end of the first round. Like and he's 22. like I'm gonna protect him a certain way, a younger guy, but like a 26-year-old, like I'm not gonna protect him the same way I protect like a young guy. Hypothetically, if we had taken how the Ravens took Lamar that time, they had traded back up into the first round to take him, and he was like 21. Like I don't have the same level of protective thoughts over what you call it, over protecting Shuck like I would have protecting this first round pick, especially a guy that's his age. So that's kind of my thought process on that. And that was like my final thought.
All right, that's what's up. With the unks of the week, has any player or anybody that's kind of like notable ever interacted with one of the posts yet?
Nah, I'm gonna start tagging them. I'm gonna start like how you can tag on here.
Yeah,
I might start tagging them because I know some of these dudes be searching their name on here.
yeah.
So
I'll tag them and write their name too.
yeah. I like
So
I know I write their name. So if they search if Joe Flacco got on Twitter and searched Joe Flacco and he went the latest and at that time when the game was over and clicked and scrolled down, he'll see it. But like
well,
I'm gonna
I'm
start
saying
just
tag
tagging the
them and
players.
write the name. So that way, if they didn't, just
Oh, like add them and all that.
yeah, if they scrolled over the at, but they the type that type in their name, because
Yeah.
when they type in their name, I don't think they at come up,
No, no,
especially
no, no, no. I typed the name. I put the name, but I'm gonna start tagging it too.
yeah. Well, all right, man. I've been seeing to get a lot of traction lately, so man, good salute to that. But thanks for
Appreciate
coming
it.
on the show, man. Definitely gonna have to get you back on after the Bucks game, man. Until then, man, appreciate you.
Got you. You take care, man.
All right. Well, and that's the end of the stream. Well, that's the end of the show, you guys. So if y'all like to go ahead on and hit the like button for me, go ahead on and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. If you enjoyed the content, and until next time, after this bus game, man, who that? We're not doing good right now, but if y'all trying to at least lean towards the Pelicans way, I think that is some excitement for you there. But until next time, who that?